Just visit the new CalgaryHerald.com with more of everything worth knowing.
You need for Chinatown to survive and flourish.
With its spectacular ornate ceiling and gold-inlaid pillars, the Chinese Cultural Center is a sight to see. The center is getting all decked out for this weekend's Chinese New Year's celebration. 75-year-old Victor Ma is the honorary chairman of the Cultural Center, a building he says is for everyone.
Why we open it up for everybody? Because this is a multicultural country.
Calgary's Chinatown has been in its current location along the Bow River at the foot of the Centre Street Bridge for nearly 100 years. Like its two predecessors, Chinatown has always been on the rough and ramshackle side.
That's the best proof. Only 30 years ago, that's how Chinatown looked like.
There have been some efforts to push the community from its Centre Street location, including redevelopment from the downtown core. There was even one plan to replace the area with the so-called penetrator, a 10-lane freeway, because the riverbank lands were then seen to have little value.
So if we can move it down to, at that time, was still considered to be no man's land. You can quote me, okay? No man's land down here. Okay, they don't care there's a Chinese community here.
Despite the current economic downturn, Ma says the next real estate boom will threaten Chinatown, with downtown property too lucrative to ignore for redevelopment.
Chinatown today is as vulnerable as 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago. I have been saying that in the next economic upturn cycle, real estate boom again, in other words, who knows, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years from now, I bet the developer is going to try it again and again, try to gobble up the lands in Chinatown. That's me.
That's you, eh?
That's my sister.
Oh, is that right? Your sister's Jenny.
Jenny, yeah.
That's Ma's 1949 school photo. His family roots in Chinatown run deep.
For me, Chinatown is very, how should I call it, emotionally, let's say, okay? It's my home, even though I don't live here. Even though I only maybe perhaps come down here a couple times a week. But emotionally, well, that's my home, okay? My ancestors built it.
He'd like to see Chinatown preserved as a heritage area that would prevent it from being swallowed up by the downtown core. A community with a strong residential component, even though most Calgarians of Chinese descent live in the suburbs.
Chinatown is not just for the people who actually live here. People say, oh, you look at Toronto, they have 3 or 4 Chinatown. I said, you call that Chinatown? You call that Chinese shopping mall. There's only one Chinatown in Toronto. That's downtown Toronto.
Ma hopes Calgary's Chinatown remains downtown as well. Rick Donkers, CalgaryHerald.com.
Chinatown is already known.